Hey everyone, it's me, Vie. Welcome, I guess, to another cosmic blurb. I just wanted to, I had like this realization and I felt like I needed to share. So, I think what is really amazing about, and I got this lovely little tattoo. I wanted to show you guys. Let's get better light. Yeah. It's by 𝗪𝗪𝗀 on Instagram. And I just absolutely adore it. I wear my heart on my sleeve now, I guess. But yeah, I wanted to just talk about, lately I've been having a lot of specifically nicotine cravings, and that's really hard for me because I don't smoke cigarettes anymore and I don't like vape or anything anymore. And I'm sorry, y'all know, like anytime I see this tooth like that is like shifting, I get super distracted by it, but I'm going to try to ignore it. Yeah, basically I've been having like these triggers to nicotine and wanting to smoke cigarettes, specifically cigarettes, not vaping, but specifically cigs. And I think even vaping would be something that I would want to do, but it's something that I have such a visceral bodily reaction of having to quit it that like I by no means want to do that. And I knew when I was quitting vaping back in October that my higher power was making it so painful so that I would never want to do it again. And I am honoring that. So where I'm at now is like last week I had such strong cravings for smoking and I didn't think that I was going to be able to get through them, but I did because I like tapped into my network, and I prayed about it and all that stuff, and I asked my higher power for help, and the universe presented all of these tools and these methods for me to get past it. And so now I'm using when it gets so strong that I feel like I'm not going to be able to like stand against it, I have been using mugwort and red raspberry leaf, and those have been super helpful, but like it still burns my throat and it still sucks. And it doesn't have the same chemical reward that I want, that I want. Not need, but want. So it's just kind of like pointless. But I don't really want to do it, and it definitely is helping me to like stay on the path, and that's important because we have Mars and Taurus right now, with Uranus and with Dark Moon Lilith. And why does that matter? Well, it matters because that's why this feels this way. That's why this, like what I wanted to make this video about is Taurus, Uranus, and Uranus being so connected to Pluto, because like Aquarius being so connected to Scorpio. For me, I feel that strongly because I feel like the heart is really, if you want to work with heart healing, like of course you got to do the root healing. Any type of healing that you do, you're gonna have to do root chakra healing. That's just foundational, and also like earth star chakra healing, because like that is also part of how we connect to our divinity. It's not just our celestial chakra. It's also our, like, the earth is a celestial being as well, and that's something that we tend to forget, and like we really tend to denigrate, and it's just crazy because it's like, honestly, how can you treat this planet this way and still call yourself a person of God if you are one? And many people do. I think more people on the planet identify as being people of faith and people of God than not, and that's just really, if you're not doing anything to honor the sacredness of the planet, that I just don't agree with you on that, and I just have to like ask you to consider that much. But it's a bit of a digression, though it's not, because we're talking about Taurus and we're talking about the earth. But I guess like what I really want to talk about is like this connection between Aquarius and Scorpio, which for me, like the moon, with the moon placement and the Venus placement really make up a lot to do with the heart chakra. And if we can look at those places in our chart, we can really kind of understand like where we can get the healing going. And for me, my moon is in Aquarius and my Venus is in Scorpio. So these things already really super relate for me. And I'm gonna explain why this is becoming prevalent now. It's because the moon, I mean, we just came out of the new moon in Aquarius, and we have Mars in Taurus with Uranus in Taurus, and it's Aquarius season, and Aquarius is about innovation. It's about experimentation. It's an uncomfortable sign. Like, it really is uncomfortable, and that I feel like is why Aquarians try to make themselves so palatable and so likable and like attractive to people, is because they know that they go against the grain, and they know that that can be alienating, and ultimately none of us want to be alienated. We want to be accepted for who we are. So I feel like there's a tendency to amplify the attractive traits and also like make it so it's like, well, you can't hurt me because like I don't even care what you think, but like you like me, I'm different, like you've never met anybody like me before, kind of like this manic pixie dream situation. Where it's like, I'm untouchable, I'm like, this is the way that you should be, you know what I mean? Like, there's an overcompensation there, and that does have to do with like, I mean, that is the axis where it's like Aquarius and Leo, you know, like big heart feels, you want to be accepted, you want to be loved for who you are, and it's definitely about presentation, and there can be this loftiness and lofty ideals, and like dogmatism that is associated with Aquarius. And for me, since that is my heart chakra, it is related to my heart chakra, it is related to my moon, like I know that's something that I'm dealing with, where it's like very, very brutally like one way or the other. Things are like black or they're white, and it's like that's not true. There's like complete gray area, and anyways, like that's so like 2D for me to be able to see a situation and be like, this is black and this is white, as a 3D being. That's like me operating from a 3D understanding, but being in the 4th dimension allows me to be like, actually there's this whole spectrum. And then I think even being in the 5th dimension is just like, and that doesn't even matter. But so it's uncomfortable right now. It's an uncomfortable place to be in, because like coming into all of this information, coming into all of these different perspectives and this like different insights and awareness that like perhaps we haven't really been exposed to before, kind of creates this energy of like, well, what the fuck? And like you are automatically transformed in that moment. And what is transformation? Scorpio. It has to do with Scorpio, which like is ruled by Pluto and by Mars. So like boom, there you go. Its ruling placement is in Aquarius right now. I mean, it is with Uranus in Taurus right now. So there is this massive transformation happening out in the world, because we are transforming, and like it is, for me, it's like inescapable. Like we have to deal with it, we have to interact with it, like you can't not. And that's just for everybody. And so like latching on to that idea, it's uncomfortable, and I want to do things to get out of myself, and I want to do things to not experience the discomfort. Like, my dreams are going nuts. It's Mercury retrograde, y'all know, in Aquarius as well. Like, my dreams are and we've had like the new moon there, the sun is there, we have Jupiter and Saturn are there, you know. I think that's it for right now. But it's just a lot. It's a lot of energy. And with the new moon, it was about like staying focused, like remaining in our ideals. Like, yes, do that lofty thing, but it's not about anybody else. It's only about us. And this is a really big transformation. Like, you can't even be focused on what anybody else has got going on. And then seeing those parts of us where it's like, well, that is what I was focused on before, and I was trying to change everything outside of me, but not change myself. And that's why none of that stuff ever stuck. And so, like, you know, Scorpio season, I feel like, is very intense because Scorpio is intense. This transformation is a completely unstabilizing or destabilizing process of going from being one thing to going to being another. Like, if you think about a butterfly, if you think about a butterfly, like, y'all know I have this butterfly wing, and it has, for me, it relates a lot to Libra. And I've been thinking about this a lot, of becoming that beautiful new thing. Because, like, when we get, like, to a new cycle, like, Libra is the start of a new cycle. Libra season is the start of, like, the descension into the nether realms. It is a portal, and a portal to an alternate dimension. And yeah, it's like a new level that we enter into after going through this process of transformation. If you think about butterflies, like, a caterpillar has the information of how to become a butterfly encoded into its DNA, and it builds its cocoon, and then it, like, dissolves into goo, and then it reforms itself into a butterfly, and then it, like, breaks its way out. I believe it eats its way out, but yeah, it eats its way out of its cocoon, and then it's a butterfly, and then it has to, like, go about practicing being a butterfly. And that's really what's been happening. And I feel like that's an excruciating process, you know what I mean? Like, the information in the DNA and, like, all that process is Aquarian, and it is Scorpion in its very nature. And it's also, like, I mean, everything is everything, and all is one. But, like, you know, I just felt like that was something that really needed to be talked about, because, like, it is a process of transformation, and Scorpio does have to do with the subconscious and the preternatural, really, too, because, you know, there's a lot of things that we no longer want to be, and that just no longer resonate with us, and maybe we don't, you know, they're under the surface. Those are things that we don't want, like, people to know about or whatever, but it's really just about, you know, finding that relief. And the relief isn't found in chemicals. It isn't found in, you know, and by chemicals I mean even like endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, none of that. It's really found in actually the process, and processing the grief, processing the pain, processing the discomfort, and what information is given to us then, and grounding that information and allowing it to become a part of our coding, to become a part of our operation system. And then our lives are just completely fundamentally different. And yes, we are on a new level. We've been on a new level, a new plane of existence since Libra season, as I said. And so I feel like we're starting to touch ground again, and that's something that, like, is really going to be apparent once we get to, like, Pisces season. It's going to be apparent. But I feel it's really going to touch ground, like, yeah, Pisces season. So I don't know, that's just, like, something that I felt I really needed to share. And hope that it resonates with some of you. If not, then I apologize. But yeah, I think I'll post the cosmic blurbs first here for this community, and then I'll post it later on YouTube. I don't know. As y'all know, I'm still figuring out how I want to distribute content and like what makes sense. But yeah, this is actually something I do feel that people should have access to. So I love you all truly and deeply. Bye.